Hello? Is anybody out there? Can you hear me? Welcome to The 100 TV. Real conversations with real people.
All of this has been an evolution. Nothing about this journey is how I thought it was going to be. You know, shout out to the Free Game Society, man. Shout out to everybody, Team 100. Shout out to everybody that just keeps rocking, that understands what's going on here. We're just trying to make changes without compromising the truth, right? We're not up here just for the views. We're here for the impact. But you know, you be the judge, man. Lock in with us. We can agree to disagree, you know. But regardless, we're gonna keep it 100. You can't keep it 100 with anybody unless you keep it 100 with yourself, man. Let's be clear. You gotta come correct, man. They'll pick you apart nowadays, man. People doing homework, you know what I'm talking about? So when we talk, we talking from a perspective of experience. We talking through the life journey, our ups and downs. You know, we giving it to you that way, right? But who are we though, man? We just like y'all. You ready? Alright, well, come on in, we going in. The 100 TV. Y'all better tap in, man. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the notification buzzer, all that stuff, man. So when we live, y'all live, man. Become a part of the conversation, man. It's not my platform, it's our platform. 100. We just let that ride, man. You know what I'm saying? 100. That's all I know. I think we on to something, man. And oh, by the way, free my brother, man. Free Jefferson Ellie, aka Poetic Life of Law, man. Free all my brothers. Free everybody needs to be free. I know what we're doing this for. There's a backstory behind everything. Let's go. Peace to the planet Earth, man. It is a wonderful Monday. I almost forgot what day it was.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. I did forget what day it was. That's what type of week it's been. For the Willers, we were supposed to be up here Sunday. We didn't get up here Sunday. Better late than never is what we say. We're late bloomers. We do things a little bit later than the rest of the world. But it's okay. We're up here. We're up here. Real quick shout outs, man. Let me see. We got the website launching, the100tv.org. Special shout out to Todd, man, my main man, Todd Patterson. Everything that he's doing, man.
Yeah, awesome job,
Yeah,
Todd. Thank
creating
you.
that, putting that together. We're gonna have channels, and it's gonna be a whole network over there. We're doing something different. It launches May 1st. It's up now, but it looks really ugly, and it probably makes no sense because still a lot of work being done on it. But May 1st, 2023, we're gonna have the schedule up there for all the shows, all that good stuff too, man. Like Mo Life with my homegirl Monique Yesenia, Fluid Conversations with my homegirl MJ, Love vs. Prison, which you're right here watching right now with me and my beautiful missus right here. And then we got her show, The Prison Wife Chronicle. She's gonna have her own show, which is gonna be amazing. I'm excited, and a lot of people are asking for it, so that's cool. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. What's up, y'all? Hello, world.
Buenos dias. Checking in with everybody. Shout out to everybody, man.
Hey, what's up, Melissa?
Here we go. Ty, what's going on, everybody?
Hey,
up
thank
here,
you.
Man? We are live and in motion right now, man. I guess getting right into. You got any thoughts before we get into it? Any shout outs, anything?
No, but tune in soon. It's gonna be a lot of details coming about the new TV show, The Prison Wife Chronicles. I'm going to be talking about all sorts of things. Obviously, we'll be able to really just have some open dialogue with my experience, my side of things. I've done a lot of things in life, so I love telling stories. And I definitely like just open dialogue. So just being able to discuss a lot of things and having a platform, where we can have a different type of, approach. That's what I'm going to be there for. So I'm excited about it.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fire. Let me see. Aside from that, VA family, we know a lot of people from Virginia watch the channel. May 7th, Browns Park, the Youth Our Future Day, started by my brother Jefferson Ellie, who's got a nonprofit organization called We God, weaving educational weaving educational genealogy, occupational development. That's a tongue twister right there, y'all. And it's all about the youth, giving away food and gift certificates. We have boxing lessons and TikTok dance booths, all that good stuff. So if you'd like to attend that, May 7th, Browns Park, Yorktown, VA, 1 to 5, you can message me to get some more information. We're looking for volunteers as well. Anybody who wants to be involved, but more importantly, just bring the kids for a good time. And now getting into it. Year 1. We've been answering questions. Everybody, shout out to everybody that's been sending questions, and we've been answering them on the first few episodes. We've been trying to do 2 or 3 of them. But quite a few people asked the year 1 question. What was year 1 like? Like, to really get into it. So we're going to get into it right now. If you guys want to ask questions about year 1, if you got a loved one getting ready to come home, if you want to know some of the things you might face, some of the things he might be thinking, or she, or whatever, ask questions. And then, Todd said the website is, the website is not yet live, guys. I apologize. Todd is the tech guy. I know nothing in that department. He's saving my life right now, single-handedly. But I don't know. Year 1. I'm gonna shift back real quick. Year 1. I want to paint the picture, guys. I came home January 13th, 2020, after doing 16 years, 11 months in prison. My wife, when I walked out of prison, after the hugs and all that good stuff, my wife thrust a smartphone at me. When I got locked up, people barely texted. And I think maybe MySpace existed. Maybe. I remember going to McDonald's that morning for breakfast. It tasted like steak. It tasted like Roof Crisp or some 5-star, whatever it is, your favorite cuisine. It doesn't now, but then it did. It tasted, them pancakes and sausages, bagel, whatever. Was it a steak bagel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. I know I got a coffee too. The coffee from McDonald's.
That's why I tasted like steak.
That's why it tastes like steak. It was a steak bagel. That makes sense. Okay, so touche. But yeah, I remember just fast forwarding. Aside from that, after doing all that time, I came home. I remember the Kobe and his daughter and the passengers, the tragedy when the helicopter crashed, and then I remember the world was about to end. And I remember my anxiety was through the roof. I think. Well, no, not I think. I know.
It was.
What were your thoughts as I just came home and then all of a sudden the world was ending? Did you guys know the world was about to end prior to me coming home? Not that it ended, but that the pandemic was.
Well, it was still a lot that you left out even before that. You got your license the same day you came home.
I got my license the same day I came home. I got lucky.
He could not drive, but we were driving a vehicle across state lines without a license plate.
Legally, though.
We didn't have an actual physical plate. So it was like
a piece of paper we stuck. The DMV in Virginia gave us a piece of paper to stick in the back seat or the back window of this 95 sea green colored Plymouth Grand Voyager that I was grateful that I got. And all we had to do was drive it to Georgia, but we had no plates because we had to get down here to register it. And then what happened?
We got pulled over.
We got pulled over by the police.
So
I ain't even get to report to the PO yet because I had 72 hours. I was gonna report once I got to Georgia, and once I did that, I was able to tell them. But man, we got pulled over by the police.
yeah, but I mean, we were good. We showed them the stuff. You know, came back down here, but then I don't know, was it the same day?
Electrical. It was the same day. It was the same.
We pulled up to the crib. We walk in. Power is out in certain parts of the house. So it was just like one thing after another. But going to the store, you know, showing them how the stores work, how now it's self-checkout. You know, it's different. It's debit cards. It's so many different things. And it's a transition every day. Every little step of the day is something. It's a question. You know, he has to learn how to use his phone. We're sending out resumes. You know, we have to save and download all this information. It was a lot of information coming at him, I feel like, at one time, because he was choosing to not sit down, working immediately. He came home as a married man, so that's automatic responsibilities. I'm still working. Literally, I had to go back to work, I think, like the very next day after we came back here.
Then I had to
You're
start
by
driving.
yourself.
Oh, yeah. That was
you have to learn how to drive.
I wouldn't leave the house at first without her.
We're in Georgia.
She had to tell me one time, she was like, yo, you just got to start going. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. I was like,
I can't always be in the car.
I had rearranged the whole house one time because I wouldn't leave the house, but I wanted to be productive, but I was like trying to wait for her. But
yeah, it was a step by step, day by day. It was so much information, literally. Yes, information overload. So he was downloading. I mean, he was getting scammed. Well, we didn't get scammed.
I almost got scammed.
He almost got scammed.
I thought Kevin Gates was about to send me $5,000, $10,000. I don't listen. It's like crazy,
but it's regular stuff that we would. And I'm sorry to even laugh about it now, but seriously, like back then, I was like, oh my God, like that's somebody trying to scam you. Like it was literally step by step, day by day. But remember, he's missed decades. So trying to get him up to speed, like it took some time to get used to, I think. It's not something you can just learn. We had to learn how to, we recognize it now. They are scamming you. You know what I mean? Yeah. We recognize it now, the letters that come in the mail. They're doing XYZ. So it's just totally different.
I had to learn everything. Like I had to literally, like no cut, like I didn't know how to pay for gas at the pump.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how to order my food at McDonald's that morning. I was standing looking at I didn't know you could touch the screen. You know what I'm saying? There was just certain things. It was just, I mean, it is what it is. I was gone for almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
You know, and it was crazy for me. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get quiet again because you can illustrate it way better. It like, I had anxiety because if there's a such thing, I was successful in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a bad thing to, I mean, you want to be successful and make the best out of any situation. So that part was good, but that's all I knew. That's what I knew. I knew how to be successful in prison. So then I came home and it's like everything that I knew to respect or whatever, you know, that I had, that I built for myself as a man all my life. Oh, it was out the window. Because now I'm in a world where nobody cares about that. They don't care about how many times you done beat somebody up or got into a fight or beat a case. Or they don't care because this is not prison. This is the free world. We back in society. So I was dealing with that. You know, trying to show people I wasn't just some ex-con, you know, something like, you know, dealing with all, it was just a lot. And in the world, and then I'm watching I'm getting on the news, and then you got to think this. I'm gonna shut up. She bought me a 50-inch for my birthday, a 50-inch or whatever, whatever TV, right? And I can look at the app. Now I'm able to get on there, and I can look at the apps, and I can get on YouTube, and I can look. And now it's in the midst of the pandemic, and I'm seeing the count of the people that we're losing every day, and I'm like, man, I just did 17 years, came home, married, got a house, we got a chance, and now it's about to be gone. Like, it was a lot on me.
Yeah, and he had and in the midst of being in a pandemic, so he came home January the 13th, you know, when Kobe passed, that had to been like, early February? Or was late January?
It might have been late January.
So all of these things were literally like weeks apart. And then you start hearing about more people getting sick, borders starting to shut, down, and, just talks. Chris had already started talking about how something had been going around back in November, December, the year prior, that sounded just like it. So when all of these things are being reported on the news, we started talking about it like, what do you think that could have been COVID? So it's things like that you're thinking about. So his anxiety is replaying stuff that he just saw after already having anxiety from coming home, because it's just built up. You finally walk out those doors, everything is totally different, and you're being relocated to a whole nother state. You don't really know anybody. You're marrying somebody who, is you met this, because of your circumstance. That take a lot. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say it, for what it is. It does take guts. So having to depend upon that. So thinking about all of this stuff in the midst of what's going on, just not getting a job, then you jump back, you think, okay, now I'm about to lose my job. It's March. We haven't even gotten into like just. I
got laid off one time. I had a good job.
Oh, and got a good job.
I had a job. Yeah, I had a job when I first came home. I got on with the garbage company, which was a good paying job. But then I got on with a company where I didn't have to work with the garbage no more, and I was kind of moving quick, and then the pandemic came.
Yeah.
And they were trying to keep me on. They dropped to a skeleton crew, and then the hours I'm watching people get laid off. I knew it. And I'm out there, I'm pressure washing the back of the house one day. It was Friday. That's when we got a little argument that day. But I got laid off. The HR called me, laid me off. And then me and her, we ended up getting into a because I was like, I'm going to the temp agency. She was like, it's Friday.
Right.
Just go Monday. Just chill, rest. I'm like, I'm going. I got to go now. Because my mind wouldn't. Like, it just wouldn't calm down. I was like, man, because as a man, and I had a moment recently where I thought I was going to listen, we're business owners, we're all that, but I still work a 9 to 5. Salute to everybody that's grinding anyway. Mm-hmm. Man, I thought I was going to get fired. And I had to walk up them stairs in this house and tell my wife that. I said, babe, and she's never been the type not to support me up, down, in between. Because the one time I did quit my job, she told me, you better get your stuff and come on home. But I never want to be the one that let my wife down. Or as a man, I'm not that guy. I need a job. I need to work. I need to be doing something. So that joint almost derailed me a little bit because I lost my job and then jobs are closing down.
Right. So now they're talking about essential workers. Ain't nobody even heard of an essential worker before. So everybody is like, everybody was on that tip. So you got to think about it, the anxiety of all of that. Like coming back, don't nobody know that they secure, but I know I'm good. I'm like, well, if unemployment coming in here, we know we gonna have that. But him as a man, he's not.
I wouldn't have want. Well, no. I ain't gonna lie, I was getting decent. I would have took that at that time, but I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, I'm thinking about my PO. Like I can't get a job with they. Then I'm like, but I ended up going back to the garbage company because I didn't burn a bridge. And I work for them to this day. Great company. Yeah, and I'm grateful for that. So, hey, don't burn no bridges, y'all. If you move, that's just a quick. That's just a quick little jewel, man. What else do you remember? Like, what were your thoughts? Like, it was hard at first. We had to relearn each other. Like
we had to really learn each other because the world was shut down. So our 1 year experience, I think, is probably going to be different than others. You know, anybody who is dealing with this between 20 and 20, 22 at least, it's really now just getting back to semi-normal. You know, these 2 years, these are going to definitely be a different type of time in history. So
yeah,
it's different when you're stuck with the person where you basically, it's like you better sink or swim. It's either or.
And we had some moments, y'all.
Yeah.
Like we went through some, like, man, we went through some, like, health wise, like we had, like I had a seizure. I just decided one day I was just gonna have a seizure.
Yeah.
Day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had one since then.
Right. But it's like,
yeah,
even with that, you know, it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like it was out of well, I'm not gonna say out of nowhere, but
it was probably stress related.
It was definitely stress related. You know, I feel like, but year one can be tricky because it's not, especially if you have been living by yourself, you know, for some time and you've really been, literally you've been by yourself. It's definitely going to be a transition for both.
How did you feel when I came in here and I was like moving stuff around and like,
oh God. Okay. So
was I weird to you? Like, I never asked you this. Like, was I weird to you?
Yes.
Yes. I might still be weird to you, but
not anymore.
Like, what type of
first of all, I'm a pretty weird person, I feel like, anyway. I feel like I'm weird, but it was OCD overload. I just feel like it was OCD overload at first. And then it went from that to, you know, okay, I got to move stuff. It was a lot of rearranging.
Yeah, I've rearranged.
You still kind of, you're not as, I don't think you're like that as anymore, but it's not as often. But yeah, it can be some extreme set of circumstances, you know, that happens, and you have to have a certain level of patience to be able to deal with certain things, and while that person gets readjusted because they're accustomed to living a certain way, and it is different. He has changed a lot. I have seen a progression. It's not something that has happened overnight. He is a lot better. You know, what I feel like what you all see and experience is him really being out of his comfort zone. But when he's not in his comfort zone, you know what I mean? It's just not contentment. So I just feel like this is a big step. This helps, actually. I think this helps him. You know, I think it helps to share the experience. I think it helps to help other people. I think it's a form of self-counsel, as well as, you know, even group, you know, where a place where we can have open dialogue and discuss. So it's healthy. So I feel like with the progression of things like this, the progression of counseling, the progression of just continuous education, feeding yourself, living, just experiencing some things, literally just experiencing some things and being more repetitive and getting more adjusted. I mean, it's a process, but I think that everybody's process is different because, you know, with somebody else, you know, experience is definitely going to be something. It could be something different with everybody's experience. Like everybody's not the same. Like he has a work ethic. He's an introvert. This person might be an extrovert. So they may, you know, say things differently or do things differently. Yeah. It's just different. It's a different experience, but there's still some learning and some teaching involved, you know, with both parties. And somebody has to be willing to listen. That person has to be willing to actually take, you know, the guidance, because it is going to be just, I feel like, just that. And the person who's offering the guidance too, you know, it's like they can't abuse or manipulate, you know, the situation, because it could go in any type of way. because it is new. It is uncertainty. You don't know what you're really going to get into until that person actually gets the freedom to make the day-to-day decisions to continue to keep pushing forward. And it just all comes down to that. We kept making the decision to keep moving forward no matter the circumstance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There not as many hard moments now as there, was in the past. But it was some tough moments year one. It was like,
it was a lot of outside stress.
Yeah.
It was just, we were dealing with a family situation.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Behind the scene, not with us directly, but somebody close to it. It was a lot. And that's why I tell people, like, sometimes we get caught up in what we see, but that's why I enjoy being transparent on this platform. Because I feel like it becomes stressful trying to put on an image. And at the end of the day, we've all been through stuff.
Get ready. Get ready, Tara. Get ready, please. It's not easy, but I feel like if you put in the work before, and I think that's what helped us, figuring out a plan early. Chris had me write projections home. I think you wanted a to-do list before. I'm almost in, like, I think we did it actually like for 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had one before he came home, a to-do list. He wanted, and then revamped it a year later. So it was really like a goal. It wasn't a vision board because at that time it was just something we had discussed.
It was kind of like one.
Yeah, and then
we had a plan in place.
We had a plan in place.
It
was written on the envelope. The envelope was on the refrigerator.
We would talk about it.
We did the same thing again.
Yeah.
We crossed it out. What didn't we complete? And then that manifested into different boards around the house now and other stuff that we have where everything's just written down and the vision boards and so it started before he came home though. We started putting in work before. And that's something that I always, I really, really try to advocate for is just that type of planning. Like, don't just utilize that phone time as, just a way to get, I think, just fulfill, just I guess yourselves or the want or the, the needs. Like, it got to be some plans in place.
Still try to build something going
Still
forward.
Try to build something for the future that's going to be sustainable. Something that you can get some type of interest on. You know what I mean? Something that's going to.
It's got to be more than love.
It has to be more than love.
It got to be more than feelings.
It got to be more than feelings. It got to be more than looks. It got to be, it got to be more than all of that. It can't be superficial. It can't be manipulation. It can't be just because one person trying to use the other person. Like, it's so many different reasons, but we do that out here too. You know what I mean? So I just feel like in a situation like this, it's best to be as honest as possible, both parties. And I feel like that honesty and that trust that we had really carried us through too. That's one thing. So just taking it day by day, and really, really reevaluate, like, is this a step that I want to continue to take? Because you're going to have to put in the work and it's going to have to be a daily thing. Then that daily thing's turned into a yearly thing. You know what I mean? But it's literally going to be learning literally every step of the way, especially in the beginning, especially year one. It's going to be learning all day long, especially if it's anybody that did at least 10 plus. Maybe 5 years, it's going to be easy, but it's still going to be some mental adjustments that have to be made too. Chris, made the choice to, work on his mental health. He was affected, how many 3+ years in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
So all together in that, you know what I mean? That's a lot. That's a lot. So that is something that you may notice. This person may do stuff. Chris made sure every single door was closed twice, sometimes 3 times.
Windows,
double check.
I got certain
doors.
I got certain things.
But like when he first came home, like several times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is not, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing or, that the person, something's wrong with the person, but I feel like it's not something that you should do excessively unless this is the type of environment that you have come from, where doors were locked all the time. You used to being up at a certain time. So Chris, hey, he's an early riser.
I got up this morning at 2 something and was just up till 4 o'clock for no apparent reason. I finally got back in bed. I'm just used to getting up and should have rested all the way straight through, but I'm just programmed that way. That's one of the things I don't know if it's going to shake from me. I like being an early riser though.
Yeah. There's some benefits. I feel like that is a benefit. Being an early riser is a benefit. So, the way that he likes to, I know when he's eating well and working out, his discipline, because he is so routine. So the list, he's used to having a routine. So he likes order, and I feel like those are great traits, you know what I mean? But sometimes they can be, excessive. That's why I was saying like monitoring the doors, more often than, most would. So
could that also be because we live in Atlanta?
No. Maybe now, like maybe twice, but
we don't live in like no crazy. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah, but it's like, okay, come on, like you didn't lock the door when you came in. Like,
I guess I got OCD. Sometimes I don't have like OCD for real.
And I know people that have OCD. I'm not saying if they've been diagnosed or not, but I feel like this is like extreme sometimes. Can be. What everybody's saying. I saw a couple of things.
It's so many. I couldn't keep track. Shout out to everybody that's throwing comments.
I know.
People were talking about where their loved ones are at, and being in different states. You want to talk about that really quick? Because I was in Virginia. She was in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually dealt with that. Mm-hmm. We had to, because Todd and then who was that? Let me see. Tara. Yep. Texas and Georgia. And then you got a Virginia and Arkansas. We were Virginia and Georgia.
Yep.
You like, what are your thoughts on that as far as, do you think that impacted us at all?
Actually, I feel like it made us a little bit stronger. I feel like it valued our time together. It gave us more to look forward to, which meant for me that the visits were going to be that much more extra special. So we did like designate, like the way that my job was set up, I was on the same job for a couple, for 10 years. So at that time, I already had designated, holidays or the time that I would take off a year, plus I do hair. So I already know there's certain, downsides or downtime that I have. So it was always easy for me to travel because I've always traveled. That part didn't bother me as much. But I do feel like if you're the type of person that, likes, and loves affection and, wants to and have the desire to see that person, once a month at least, or, I could see how that could be a stretch. But for me, I love the fact that I had something to look forward to because I had something going on in my life already. I was rebuilding myself. So in the process of doing that, it just kept me on track and kept me focused on doing something and not saying that I wasn't putting attention on him or, nurturing that time, but, it gave us the opportunity to still do our own thing. He was still building, what he could while he was in the place to where he was. And I was doing the same. And I felt like that was an equivalent to somebody that you're like dating. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, your place, then my place. For me, it gave me the discipline I feel like that I needed. And it also helped to strengthen our foundation because we had to get to know each other more. And it made us stronger, I feel like. So, I thought the distance made my heart grow fonder, I feel like, and I've heard that saying before.
I am responding to texts from school. Shout out to our amazing lead instructor, Miss Laura.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing.
She's awesome.
And I was just responding because you definitely got to respond and communicate. Shout out to effective communication, which is key in relationships. I feel like we should all take effective communication classes and go forward. Do you think anything that I may have picked up in prison has helped us? That's like a weird question, but I do remember somebody asked that question.
Yeah, well, I just gave an example of that about how you get up early.
You don't think it's like it's sometimes, because sometimes I need rest. Sometimes I'm weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get up.
It's not like you're getting up at, I feel like once you got to a point where you could sleep through the night.
Yeah.
Once you got a point where you could sleep through the night, you're good.
That took time though.
But it did take
year
some time.
one.
I don't mind if you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, because 9 times out of 10 you be asleep at 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I pass out.
Yeah, you
I'm
pass
going
out
to sleep
early
right
now.
Soon
That's what I'm saying.
Here, I'm going
so, you know, it's get up at 5 in the morning. That's not that's not bad. You get up at 3:30 in the morning, cutting it close, but you still get a decent amount of rest. But when you getting up at all type of nights and can't sleep, you wake up, roll over, he up. You know what I mean?
My anxiety was bad. Like, man, let me tell you something. I had night sweats, nightmares.
I haven't, but I didn't know too much about the nightmares.
That's because I don't just be. Well, I've told you I've had.
Yeah, you told me when you've had some, but
yeah. Well, the nightmares aren't as much. The night sweats was like that was a thing for a minute.
I experienced that.
Yeah, but certain things. I mean, anxiety. It's just certain things, man. You don't know. For me, I didn't know how much trauma I sustained from being incarcerated. I didn't know the extent, and I didn't really start getting uncovered until I came home. It's kind of like you're standing in the midst of a fire, and then you can't heal while you're in the fire. You can't. There's no peace of mind in prison. There's no moment where you can sit in prison. We find peace in prison. We laugh in prison. We break bread in prison. We make the best of prison because that's what we do. Humans, we adapt, we overcome. We're remarkable in that way. But to say that I ever had peace of mind in 17 years, I can't say that. Because even with resting, I was on spots where you got to stick a toothbrush in the door and put a mirror in the corner of your cell. I don't even know if that makes sense. So if the door pops open while you resting and you turn the wrong way, you can see if somebody's trying to run in there on you. Like, you just can't rest in that environment. I was in a hole for a year, over 3 years, broke up different times. It's loud in there. At night, everybody's up, banging. People are losing their minds. There's no silence. And then you come home, or translation, like I said, you finally get took out the fire and you get put in some cool water. And then now you can see your skin and everything that got burnt and hurt by the fire. And that's kind of what I felt like. I broke that down one time in therapy. I was like, yo, you can't heal when you're in the midst of it. And then you come home and then you're like, oh, this triggers me, or this is stressing me, or now I can cry. Now I can talk. I can express my, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot, man. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you.
It was like it was like a transition. It was definitely steps. And I feel like in that first year, it just has to be a lot of, reassurance, a lot of patience, a lot of grace. I feel like it has to be a place where y'all both have some type of common goal. And that's however you want it, or whatever you want it to be. But it has to be something specific that you can work on together. Because without that, I just feel like people are just a little bit too idle. And that might not necessarily be what anybody needs. Because that person definitely is going to need you. And it could be that person may not know how to express that. Or, you know, you might not be a person that is used to having to, or you feel like you might not be used to having to show somebody, you know, something like that. So you definitely have to think about the things that you're probably not thinking about. You know, if you have not known this person or dealt with this person in at least, you know, if it's 7+, you know, anything above that, I feel like you're really going to have to take some extra steps and some extra deep discussions about what is expected of the individual and what are you guys expected to do together. What are you expecting from one another? It has to be specific.
I don't feel like when we talk to couples or I talk to people, I feel like that doesn't get discussed enough in any type of relationship, not just a situation where a loved one's coming home from prison. I feel like people don't talk about expectations enough. That's just what I feel, man. I feel like,
you
know, in business, anything, friendship, I don't know, not friendship, but relationship. I feel like one, if you're dating somebody, the goal should be marriage, especially a certain age.
And if it's not, y'all need to talk about that.
And say you just
so you can just keep moving, or
you just bidding. You just want to pass some time. You know, you really don't want somebody. You just want good conversation, or, you know, because I think sometimes people find that out too. We've seen that. I know I've seen that. I've talked to people. They figured out they enjoyed what they had while their loved one was on the inside. Yeah. They did not enjoy what they had once he came home.
Yeah.
Or they came home.
Yeah.
You know, they enjoyed the conversation, but not necessarily sharing a bathroom now. Right. Or sharing personal space. So yeah, you got to be real with yourself with expectations, and you definitely got to be real with one another. I agree.
Right.
Yeah, because everybody's not built the same, man. Every relationship is not built the same.
And I don't think that we dig deep enough. I don't feel like we, like you say, we talk about the hard things, or at least try. You know what I mean? Like, we really talked about stuff like random, you know, I mean, on to, and I won't touch on it this episode, but down to Chris finding out his biological family. Like, that was something that I felt like in my heart I could not live with and probably go forward with. Now, I'm not saying that it would have necessarily stopped the progression of our relationship, but it was definitely something that I felt like needed to happen before we could be married, only because I felt like that was something that was near and dear to him. At least start the process. You know what I mean? Like, it's just certain things that would have had to be priority, a standard for me, in order for us to progress into something more meaningful. So if those standards aren't being met, or at least we're not trying to aim at certain things, how can we really progressively move forward and know that we're going to be able to withstand each other and not just be passing time because we don't want to be by ourselves, or, you know, we don't, you know, want to, you know, miss out on what somebody else is doing, or because we see the person doing it next door, across the street, or my homegirl or my homeboy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a thing. And I'm pretty sure that people that are in these relationships, you know, I've seen it go both ways. I've seen people where it absolutely is 100% is the best thing for them in their life. You know what I mean? And they went through the experience and it's been so great and lovely. You know what I mean? And now everything is great. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and then I've seen it where it's been the other way.
Yeah, it goes left.
Where it can go really left and it can go left real quick.
I think I'm gonna jump back out. I just want to get right back. I think it comes down to, do both people want to put in the work and know that it's gonna take work? Like, how many people you feel like, and even with us, I feel like we might have got caught up a little bit on the honeymoon phase. You know what I'm saying? The good feeling.
Yeah.
You know, but we understood it was gonna take work. But do you think people really get that?
No, I had no idea what I signed up for. No idea. I had no idea what I signed up for. It's just what it is. And I didn't think that I was fully prepared. I just know I wasn't prepared. There was nothing that could have prepared me. Nothing. So it's really just a matter of choice. You know, like you said, it really boils down to the individual. You know, is this the person that's, you know, really going to be for you? And do your very, very best to try to at least find out. You know, watch and observe. That person is going to watch and observe you, you know, while y'all talking, while you being consistent with writing letters. Is that person going to keep their word? Are they loyal? Have you caught them up in a lie? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the same thing. I feel like, you know, it's really just, can you deal with the circumstances? Can you deal with the separation in between? Because the rest you should be able to see. The rest you should be able to see. Is the mathing, or is it, or it's not?
Is the relationshiping?
Is it shipping?
Is it doing what? Because we grown, like we know when things are in life.
Yeah,
we know when things are headed the right sometimes, but you know,
I feel like
when it's going.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes we get the flags and we ignore them. So
right.
It really boils down to the focus. How strong, you know what I mean, is the relationship going to be able to withstand when the hard moments come? Are you going to be able to continue to choose each other? It just boils down to that.
Let me ask you this. I know. Did you ever get annoyed of having to teach me stuff?
Yes.
You still got to teach me stuff to this day.
Yes, I got annoyed.
You still teach me stuff. Shout out. She's not the only one, but she's definitely my main professor.
But I don't really, I just, it takes a lot though. It takes a lot for me to even, because most of the time I'm just so used to it. Like,
I had to learn this week, y'all, how to rent a vehicle. Yep. And let me tell you something. You think it is an easy thing. As a matter of fact, it is an easy thing, but I can assure you, I made it difficult. And when a man told me, y'all know, see, I don't know, I've never rented a vehicle before. I got locked up when I was 19, y'all. That's first and foremost. And I had a vehicle then. I came home, she handles that stuff. Now I got to rent a vehicle. And let me tell you, I'm thinking when you make a reservation, that car that you reserved is going to be there at that lot. And when they told me, no, it's not, I swore they was cussing at me. I didn't understand. Everybody in the world knows, just because you make a reservation, that don't mean nothing. But anyways, she has to teach me things. I had to learn a lot.
For me, you know, I was in hospitality. I've been on the, you know, receiving end of that. And I'm used to what they say and overselling. And I'm used to all of these things. So for me, it's a little bit easier for me to talk to them, the language I need to speak. What do I need to do in order to get up out of here? So I'm able to kind of handle those type of things only because I feel like I have the background for it. As far as yeah, I'm the person for certain things. You know, I'm the designated person for certain things. It just is.
I'm the designated for certain things too now. I take the trash out, you know, I cut the grass, you know, I do stuff. I got my designated duties too now. But no, I think now it's when she still teaches me stuff, but I think now it's really shifted into just, hey, she's my wife, and
yeah, now it's, you know, we
yeah.
So it's like, it's just certain things that he does and certain things that I do. You know, it took some time. It took some time, you know, and you all and I think but see, this is where I feel like that's every relationship. And that's why, you know, even though it's love versus prison, it's still a lot of, you know what I mean? I feel like I got a better deal because of the situation I was in. You know what I mean? And that's just being real. That's just being straight up. So it's to each his own. You know, you either real or you not. But somebody in there could be real on the other side. I got me one. You know what I mean? So it's
could be fake. Not me. I'm saying you can get.
No,
one
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you can get.
That's what I'm
that's
saying,
anywhere in life. You can be with somebody for.
But it does not matter where you
6
at.
months, and then on the 7th month, you find out they are totally different human beings.
It doesn't matter. It's just, are you willing to stick it out with the individual? That's all that matters. You know, choosing each other every day, and just keep going, but knowing that you have to have enough patience to deal with the individual. Sometimes, yes, it can be annoying, but it's gonna be okay.
Well, thank you for that.
No, because we was talking about, was I annoying on the question?
No, I get it. I've had moments where I've looked.
No, but I've never. But let me tell you something. I do my very, very best not to. It's not a put down or throw in his face or any type of way like that. No. It's just like, okay, babe, like our zip code. A million times. Passwords. A million. And it'd be this, but it's the same one.
Like, whatever.
It's the same.
I don't want to worry about driving trucks and.
It's the same thing that's repetitive.
Building stuff in the garage.
For me, it's like, it's the stuff that I handle anyway. So it's not. That's why we try to more so adjust into that person's role. You know what I mean? You got somebody that's I don't know nothing about the lawnmower, or if it's some gas down there, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's not my department. So, one step at a time. Because you got to find your way with whoever you with. Yeah. It's not going to matter. But with this particular areas, you do have to have a little bit more patience. You just got to exercise that more. But that's all I really got.
That's it, man. That was it. Episode 5, Sunday. This Sunday, we're back at 8:30 p.m. barring any unforeseen circumstances. We're enjoying life. We appreciate
that's cool. Thank you.
We appreciate each and every one of you, man, that just supports, that shares. When you guys share the post, it boosts the algorithm. It lets people know we're here. It helps spread the conversation, which is a good thing. So we appreciate that. We appreciate all the community members on Facebook, the subscribers on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, subscribe, share, like, comment. We're all over the place. We're on IG. Follow me at IG as well, y'all. Let's start doing new content, different types of content on all the platforms. It's going to be fun. And yeah, man. I appreciate the share, too. Appreciate the share. Shout out to Sarah. You guys have a great evening as well.
Thank you.
Any final words for this episode right here?
To the next one, and be on the lookout for Prison Wife Chronicles. I'm gonna be talking about all sorts of stuff in relationships. So get ready. My show different too. So just get ready.
Her show different. Her show gonna be fire. She's also got a book about to lose it. It's under the pseudonym LaShawn Myers. I know a few people have been asking about. Saying she should write a book. She's already wrote a book. It's part 1 of a 3-part series. It's about her life. It's fire. I'll never read it again. Not because it's not fire. But
not the first one, but there's
She went through a lot of tough stuff that it's hard for a husband to just read. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Any husband can relate to that. But it's a good read, and if you want to hear about somebody who overcame some things and pushed through some things and kept going, you definitely want to check that out. So I'm gonna drop that link, or have April send that to drop that link.
Got it.
Yep, for About to Lose It with LaShawn Myers. We're on it. Definitely. Like she said, the Prison Wife Chronicles is gonna be different. And I'm excited. Aside from that, shout out to Ignite Justice. Working advocacy.
Yes.
Shout out to anybody that's on the mission to abolish the 13th, which is slavery that continues to manifest in the form of incarceration, mass incarceration. Shout out to the family members, the loved ones, anybody that's in a relationship, or the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters of those that have somebody incarcerated. It's not easy, man. We see y'all. That's why we do what we do. That's a part of it. And to everybody that's incarcerated, we're not green, y'all. We see it all over TikTok. Y'all got things in there. If you're watching us, man, stay focused, stay true. And if you just came home, same thing, man. Keep going. You're going to hear me say that on a bunch of our shows. Keep going. And shout out to my man Freddie Williams. Man, get ready for that. That's gonna be exciting right there. My man gonna start getting up here and dropping some real heavy jewels on y'all. So you're gonna want to be here. Some stuff that's gonna really it's self-help stuff. Stuff that's gonna really help develop you. And a guy that was a mentor to me, continues to be. So I'm excited about that and all the other stuff we got going on, man. I think that's it. Peace, love, and blessings, positive vibes, all that stuff, whatever it is, man. What I like is the diversity. I like how we get up here. It doesn't matter if you Christian, Muslim, whatever.
Everybody,
you know what I'm saying? Whatever you are, man. Blood, farmer, whoever it is, what I enjoy is we got different people from all different walks of life.
Absolutely.
Different ages, demographics, rate, all that, and everybody's up here exchanging information, building. Yeah, all the different. It's just fire,
everybody.
Man. Yeah, it's dope, and that's what it's about. It's all inclusive. The communities for everybody. It's about growth. We're combating, incarceration. We're advocating certain things, including mental health. We're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more content on the way. V100 TV. It was not just one show, y'all. It's a whole station, whole channel.
It is.
That's it. Stay tuned, man. Appreciate y'all support. Can't do it without y'all. Y'all are the reason we're here, and the only reason we could be. Don't forget to reach out, message us, all that good stuff. Email, message if you want to direct. Maybe you want to be on the show. Maybe you got some questions. Maybe you got some comments. Maybe you want to see some things. Us touch on some things. We do that too.
Valley.
And I think I got everything out there, and I'm about to get off this live because my wife and Valley are out of control.
That's a Valley.
Peace.